things weren't always like this. The kingdom and its people used to flourish. But then, she happened. The Red Enchantress. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned.
Violet, something feels wrong.
Vasha Anya Belda Sankre!
What's happening to us?
When the one who claimed to love her betrayed her for her power, he got much more than he bargained for.
What have we done?
He became a monster.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, on the highway, and in the driveway is a nice range. With the grind through the climb, I ain't like pain. And everything a bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredients, believe. They deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that can change. The gray matter like some batter in the brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it late. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad you okay. Take the worst I'm saying, turn them to a game. Take the best I'm saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past, start a plane, and you find the door. Open it up, and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 still go. Go, go, slow, you can still go. Go, there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. be a warrior. Late nights, get lost, hard work, the cost. Can't quit, can't stop, this world all cut off. Don't have time to waste, not now. Need to find a way to get out, 'cause I'm gone in deep. Get lost in the weeds. You know it's all about the conquest. What's next? You gotta put the work in like you're obsessed. Think about what you want, what's your future? What kind of person would it take to seduce her? So what's next? Be obsessed with winning and your success. Make progress, this life is never promised. So feel blessed, live life, don't be too cautious. Trust the process. In too deep, I'll never quit. I wanna see this through. Yeah, I'm all in, and I will hold my head up high. Got what it takes to fight and survive. Yeah, I will always be a warrior. You can't stop me, you can't stop me now. Yeah, I will always be a warrior. You can't lock me, you can't lock me down. I will not lay down my arms. Ready to be covered in scars, 'cause I will always be a warrior. So enigmatic and charismatic. Gotta live static, gotta get at it. Never pragmatic, 'cause we live tragic. I can't live average, to be alive's magic. Turn it up in the back as I'm grabbing everything I want, get in my way and I'm stabbing. I'll be moving crowds till I'm 6 feet napping. They need another fix, hooked on like an addict. I got my eyes on the prize and it's changing lives. I wanna live till I die, make a difference, right? I wanna give those in need a reason to fight. I wanna live every day like it's my last night. I wanna change how we play the game. Rearrange all the pieces till they say my name. Push an agenda against doing what they say. I wanna stand up and start a revolution. I wanna 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 start a revolution.
What's up, everyone? It's Area of Effect with another out-of-the-box build. This one I think a lot of you will love. Sometimes you gotta fight fire with fire. Are you sick of shield spamming overload Sorcs? Well, check this out. This build, specifically designed, is a Sorc killer. Ranged snipers, ranged overload Sorc crystal frag throwing a-holes are in for a huge surprise when they go up against you. Check out the stat screen, almost 5,400 weapon and spell damage, over 11,000 pen and 30% crit, over 30,000 max health. Look at the recoveries on each of those, stamina and magicka, and decent resistances. On the back bar, we're simply showing the resistances here, almost 30k, but we still got over 5,000 weapon and spell damage on the back bar. Pretty insane. The Jewels of Misrule is our food on this one. We want that max health and those 2 recoveries. You could do Orzorga's. Smoked Bear Haunch is just a lot more expensive, but it's a little better. The Mundus we go with on this build is the Atronach for over 400 more magicka recovery. And we are a Vampire Stage 3. You might not do this next patch. I'm not sure yet. I have to feel it out, see what happens. The Vampire is going under a lot of changes here, even passively. So we'll have to look into that later. But we are an Orc on this build. I love being an Orc in PvP. The passives, I think, are excellent for PvP. Unflinching Rage, we get that max health by an additional 1,000. And when you deal damage, you heal for almost 2,200 health every time, every 4 seconds. Swift Warrior, we get that the weapon and spell damage by 258. And this mobility boost here reduced the cost of sprint by 12% and the movement speed bonus of sprint by 10%. So again, a lot of mobility on this build, which is very important in PvP. The landscape in battle is always changing. We're getting all of the Undaunted commands, 6% for every, a light piece, a medium piece, and a heavy piece of armor. So we're maximizing our passives there on the Undaunted passives. Let's look at the gear now. Starting with the front bar, the Lightning Staff of Hissap, sharpened with the Berserker Glyph. We get that extra penetration there. Max health, weapon and spell damage, max magicka. After being hit by a disabling effect, immobilization, or snare, you heal for, when I buff up, it'll be over 2,000 health every second for 5 seconds. This is actually 6 ticks because 0 starts a second. A snare, a disabling effect, or an immobilization. This is constantly in PvP. And you're going to always have almost 100% uptime. Even though we have that on just 1 bar, it lasts for 5 seconds, and it can proc again before the cooldown. Our monster set is Mighty Chudan. We get that armor, max health, and the constant major resolve and major ward. You might say, why are you wearing that when you could simply slot Boundless Storm or Hurricane and get major resolve and major ward, with the press of a button. It's because of our skill bar, and we'll get into that. Our next 5-piece set, Titanborn. Penetration, weapon and spell damage, max stam, and adds 110 weapon and spell damage and 1,240 offensive pen while in combat. It doubles while you're under 75% health and quadruples while you're under 50% health. So that value goes to 440 weapon and spell damage and almost 5,000 penetration. A very powerful offensive set to pair with a very powerful defensive set, Hissap. And Hissap is light, so we're going to get all that penetration from the light armor passives. We got the jewelry modified a bit, infused for more recoveries, and you saw the last one had more weapon and spell damage. So this is how we're set up on the front bar, the monster set, and the gear. The back bar, it's the Sword and Board of Asylum. Okay, I love this set. This is key to this build. When you reflect or absorb a projectile with defensive posture, you restore 2,200 magicka. If it doesn't absorb a projectile, you restore 6,600 magicka. Now this is crazy because you can spam this and just take the 22 every time. But what's craziest, and my absolute favorite thing about it, is you can reflect everything that's a projectile. I have killed bow builds with their own toxic barrage. I have killed, as you saw in the clips, sometimes with the shield wall ultimate, but you don't just need the shield wall ultimate. You could spam this skill, get magicka back because of the Asylum set, and reflect the frag, reflect the overload light attack, and you could kill a Sorc with his own bullshit. You can kill a bow sniper with their own snipes. I love that, and it's not just reliant on the shield wall ultimate, although that does help too. But I'm showing here some options. You could do away with the monster set Chudan and put on like one piece of like a monster set and wear a mythic. You could wear a different monster set, because we do have a flex spot on the skill bar. You take off Mighty Tudon, you're going to lose your Major Resolve and Major Ward. You're going to have to slot that on your skill bar, which we can do with the Scribe skill, or you can do it with Boundless Storm and kind of play. There is some flex built into this build. This is a skill I was messing with. It's like the flex spot. I've got Binding Contingency. It's an immobilization, deals magic damage, slows them down, and gives us our Minor Resolve and Minor Ward. I used to have Bound Aegis, whatever you want to call it, slotted here for the Minor Resolve and Minor Ward, or you could slot Vigor for the Minor Resolve and Minor Ward. But the Bound Aegis gives you 8% max magicka while slotted. It's a Sorc ability, so it increases your weapon and spell damage. But I went ahead with Binding Contingency, reduces the speed of them, immobilize them. So what happens is when you streak through the enemy, you deal an additional 2,700 magic damage. You also immobilize them for 6 seconds, so when they break out of the stun, they're still immobilized, and they're snared. So it just really locks them down. On the skill setup, the front bar, Force Pulse, almost 3,000 Flame, Frost, and shock damage. And if they have a status effect, it'll bounce to 2 nearby enemies for almost 10,000 magic damage. I like to weave this with light attacks to proc our crystal frags. We also have slotted Inner Light for that major prophecy and major savagery for our crit, but it's also going to increase our max mag by 5%, which helps to get us up there a bit. The next skill we have is the frags, and at base we're looking at about 10,000 damage, but we never want to cast that, what they call hard cast it or long cast that. We want to wait for a proc frag. Sometimes I will long cast it by mistake, because the game seems to give you that indication, that crystal frag sound, and then the thing lights up purple on your skill bar, but then it's not there. Sometimes it's goofy, and it pisses me off, because then you're stuck conjuring a ball. But anyway, yeah, you just weave light attacks and crushing shock. It turned pink. See that, the B button? And toss the frag out. 23, almost 24,000 damage with the crit. Weave it. Any skill you cast, it could be your shield. It can be your, you could even Mage's Wrath. There it's procced again, but 25,000. So that's how we work the frags out. Now, Mage's Wrath deals almost nothing up front, right? But if they fall below 20% health, they basically explode for 13,000. Could crit damage for them and everybody around them, which is great. Regenerative Ward, we want this for a bit of a shield, a bit of a heal, and my allies get minor intellect and minor endurance, increasing their magicka and stamina recovery by 15%. You could go with the other one, the hardened ward, for a bigger shield cap, but I like the heal, the recovery, and the shield here. It's just fine, especially when shields are cut in half in PvP. You don't get much more out of the other one. You might as well use this one, and it's also group friendly because you're giving your allies more stam and magicka recovery. Okay, the ultimate now is Ice Comet. Deals 19,000 damage, knocks them down, stuns them for 2 seconds, reduces their movement speed, and then if they stay in the area, which they're probably not unless they get knocked down and locked down, almost 5,000 frost damage every second. You could use the other morph if you wanted. I like to throw the comet and then streak through them so an absolute guarantee that they're going to be stunned and take the full damage, not block. Streak, they're stunned, bam, the crystal hits. That was not a crit hit. I only got 13 something on that one, but that's how you want to do that. Again, you could use the other morph that gives you more ultimate upon impact and deals fire damage. Now let's take a look at the back bar. The first skill on our sword and board bar is kind of our flex spot. You can do with this what you want. I have messed with this a lot, and you might have seen it different in some of the clips. Magic damage immobilizes them and then reduces the movement speed by 30% for 8 seconds and gives us our minor resolve and minor ward, increasing our spell resistance. Now, if I streak through them, they're stunned. They break free from the stun, they're still immobilized for 6 seconds, and then they're also snared, reducing their movement speed. So this is like molasses, okay? You don't have to streak through them. You could just cast this again or cast another skill. With that contingency, it procs when you cast the next skill. Dark Conversion, max health, gives us magicka instantly and an additional magicka over 20 seconds, and gives us minor berserk for 20 seconds, increasing our damage done by 5%. You could switch this around the other way if you don't feel like you need the constant magicka and you want to spam the B button, which is our shield reflection skill. you could spam the B button with defensive posture, get Magicka, and then cast Dark Deal, and then basically get the stamina back and just go back and forth. Defensive Stance is the skill I'm talking about that reflects projectiles. This pairs with the Asylum set. Okay, it gives you a damage shield. It also reflects the next harmful damage projectile cast at you. It doesn't just avoid it, it sends it back. And then while it's slotted, the cost of blocking is reduced by 10%, and the damage taken while blocking is reduced by 10%. So it's just a very tanky skill to have slotted. We cast it. Watch the blue shield here in just a sec. There's the return of Magicka, 6,600 Magicka because of the Asylum set. Or you could spam it like I just did and get 2,200 each time. Watch the magic bar. I'll get 66 again. See it fill up? So between Dark Exchange and this defensive posture skill, we are constantly in, basically supply of Magicka. And we're using a lightning staff, by the way. I didn't tell you why. Not only can you do hard pulls easily, but also it increases your direct damage by 12%, which is going to add to our frags and everything. So next skill, Critical Surge. You got to have this. Major Brutality, Major Sorcery. Give us a weapon and spell damage buff, but also you heal for over 3,000 every second when you deal a crit hit. And if you watch any battle screen, or even when I'm shooting this dummy, with that 30% crit, we're getting almost a heal every second, pretty much. That paired with the Orc passive for 2,200 health every time we deal damage, we're constantly getting feedback of healing from damage. The next skill, Streak, gotta have this. Shock damage up front, stuns them for 3 seconds, and basically you want to just make sure you try to wait for the cooldown because it gets more and more expensive each time. But this is a great way to get away. It's a great way to get into battle, out of battle, and stun people. Pairing this with this contingency, you cast the contingency and then streak through it. Bam, they got stunned, they got immobilized, and now they're snared. You could, like I said, edit this skill to be whatever you want and be creative with it. The next skill, Spell Wall. Obviously, this is key. This is absolutely imperative on this build. You basically reflect all projectiles for free at no cost for 7 seconds. There it is. While it's up, you just attack and do your own rotation, and your projectiles and the Sorc you're fighting, or anybody ranged, the bowman, their projectiles go back at them. This is what you see multiple times in the clip. And it is, if they're a very good player, they might be able to see that shield wall and then just stop attacking. That sucks. That's a smart player, but we don't only have that ultimate. We also have the skill defensive position that we could spam with that Asylum set. Moving on to the, and by the way, you can't really tell that that's on you. The champion point screen, Fighting Finesse, increases critical damage and critical healing done by 8%. Reaving Blows, when you deal direct damage, which we do all the time, there's like hardly any dots, if there is any dots, unless it's a status effect on this build. You heal for 7% of that damage done. Untamed Aggression, 150 more weapon and spell damage on this build. And then Arcane Supremacy, just getting our max Magicka up closer to 30k, 1,300 max Magicka passively at all times. In the red tree now, we've got the Boundless Vitality, 1,400 max health, helping to keep us over 30,000. I like to stay over 30,000 if I can. Fortified, 1,700 armor to increase our physical and spell resistance, just constant passive damage mitigation. Sustained by Suffering, 150 health, Magicka, and stamina recovery while under the effects of a negative effect. That's going to be constantly in PvP. And then Pain's Refuge. This one's kind of a new favorite of mine. I don't know why it's popping out lately to me. I've known about it, but just basically you can receive up to 20% damage mitigation if you have a stack of negative effects on you. It could be dots, it could be snares, anything. It reduces your damage taken by 2% for each one. You could swap this around if you want. Well, that's going to wrap up the CP distribution and wrap up this build, the Sorc Killer build. If you like this build and you want to see more, head on over to my channel. I've got plenty of content on there with builds, all types, all roles, healers, tanks, damage dealers, some tips and tricks videos that aren't build related at all. And yeah, leave a like, leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought of this build. Share it with your friends. Yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. Hope you enjoyed all the extra time that was put into this for the intro. I try to stick to what area of effect is always done, and that's to entertain you guys as well as provide a good build. And hopefully I'm still doing that. Like I said, thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe. And most importantly, don't forget to have fun. Area of Effect, signing out.